friends, I welcome you all on my channel, The Opinion Platform. Today I am sitting with Megha Kumari, who has recently won the Jawaharlal Nehru University Students' Union election for the post of councillor. She has won as one of the 4 councillors in School of International Studies, Jawaharlal Nehru University. All of us know that JNU SU election or JNU Student Union election is a very hyped university election in the country. Well, winning election in JNU is not easy because each and every student is well trained to choose their leaders and vote accordingly. In JNU, it is not yet a pattern that any candidate wins or loses election only because belonging to certain political parties or having certain affiliation with certain identity. Megha, I welcome you on my channel, The Opinion Platform. My first question to you is, how was your experience in Jawaharlal Nehru Students' Union election?
First of all, Jai Bhim, Kunjwar Satrani, Salam to everyone. And thank you so much for inviting me for an interview. And talking about experience, it was a beautiful journey throughout the electoral process of JNU. And being a participant and also the candidate for council elections, it was a beautiful journey that I have experienced in JNU, of course, and being a part of JNU SU. So, it is leading me to experience something different from being a common student.
Okay, you have won election from the student organization, which is at present the most vibrant student organization, namely BAPSA. Did you know about BAPSA before coming to JNU, or you came to know about it after joining JNU?
If you talk about this, particularly BAPSA, I was never aware about what BAPSA is, and of course I was in the university in my graduation days. So there were 2 organizations was dominant there, but BAPSA thing was not there. If you talk about particularly about BAPSA, so while joining this campus, I was not also aware about what are the organizations really, and also you must be knowing that there are more than 100 organizations in JNU, of course, but you don't know about every organization, and BAPSA is one of them. So if you talk about BAPSA particularly, so I came to know about BAPSA particularly in election time only.
Okay, so since you belong to Bihar and you have done your graduation in Delhi University and you also belong to OBC caste. So as an OBC candidate belonging to the state of Bihar, where it is said that the education is almost collapsing, and the very proof is that you have yourself done your BA from Delhi University and not in any university of Bihar. What is your understanding about education? How education should be, how it should be promoted, and what role education can play in the making of personality or any person?
Okay, so if you talk about the graduation in Bihar, so it basically sometimes takes 4 or 5, more than 4 or 5 years. So basically I was aware about that in Bihar, if I pursue my graduation, it will take 5 or 6 years. So I decided that I will have to go outside of Bihar, although my parents were not allowing me to go outside of Bihar and of course Delhi. So somehow I convinced them and I talked to them and joined Delhi University and then JNU. So
how did you join Delhi University? What was your percentage? Where did you do your 12th from?
I have completed my 12th from PSCB, Bihar.
Bihar board.
Yeah, Bihar board.
Okay.
And
was it science or arts or commerce?
It was arts always. I pursued arts in 12th and political science honors in graduation and then IR.
What was the name of your school where you have done your 12th?
school is you can say higher secondary, Utkarmit Madhya Vidyalaya.
Utkramiत Madhya Vidyalaya.
Yeah, this is the you can say government school or middle school of Bihar, and after that higher secondary school. And I have completed my 11th, 12th from RN College, Hajipur.
RN College, Hajipur.
This is a 30-meter distance from my home.
Okay, so do you think that teachers of your RN College of Hajipur were very inspiring? What was the environment of atmosphere of education in your 12th standard?
So if you talk about particularly about Bihar education, so I was not actually attending classes in 11th and 12th. As you know what kind of education is being given in Bihar. So particularly I was not attending, and I can't say that it was more influential.
Why could you not attend?
Because it was 30 kilometers distance from my
Distance was the reason.
distance, and of course the train being gone. No, not anyone is going to college.
No one is going to the
Not
college.
attending, and I was part of them. I was not aware about what DU is. Actually, when I joined DU or GNU, I was a kind of person who always skipped classes. But somehow I somehow managed, and now I'm pursuing and attending classes.
How did you take admission in DU college? It was through percentage or entrance examination?
Yeah, at that time, DU was getting students on merit basis, and also on entrance basis. So I was eligible on merit basis, so I got admission through merit.
What was your percentage in 12th?
In 12th, it was 77%.
77%. Good enough percentage even from Bihar board to secure admission in one of the constituent colleges of Delhi University. The confusion about Delhi University is that everybody thinks about that Delhi University has colleges only like LSR and St. Stephen's College and Miranda House and Hindu colleges. But there are so many colleges even in Delhi University, which provides opportunity to students who are good enough and they are willing to be part of Delhi University and do their graduation. Well, when you came to JNU, what was your expectation?
So
Expectation from JNU.
if you talk about expectations, so it is something that I like in news or in of course in media you can hear about how the politicized JNU is and how the things are going on. It will overhyped in media, but when you become the part of JNU, it is something else that you experience by yourself. And
What is it?
If you talk about basically politics, that politics has made it more hype. Okay, so my parents were not allowing me to join JNU, but
Oh.
somehow I managed to convince them. But still, the politics that I joined and then participated in election process, and still and of course I won. So it was something else that I never expected for. I will go and fight for elections, and of course win.
After you won election in JNU, what did your parents say? Did you inform them
Yeah,
that you participated in JNU politics, that they were most scared of, and then you secured victory as well?
Yeah, as I just mentioned, they were not allowing me to, they were not allowing me to come to JNU, and politics, so it's something far away from their sphere. So when I told them, I just informed them that Papa, I'm going for fighting elections. So he was like, no, this is something dangerous you are doing. So I convinced them, Papa, what I have to do in future, like joining the administration. So this is some kind of experience that I am gaining from here, and I will implement there. So that was the convincing point that I could convince them, and now after then I of course I mentioned you sometime that they started calling me 2 or 3 times in a day, and that was the more like feeling, of course, something alienated ki they were not called, they never called me 3 or 4 times in a day, but in electoral process during the whole time they started calling me every day, and so this was something else that I never expected.
Basically, they must have had image of the university election, the way it happens in the universities of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh and other state universities, that violence is used, shooting happens, in fact murder takes place. In fact, the winning candidates get murdered at times, and it does not just happen in the university election, but even in the real elections it's happened, that violence is the main focus of discussion during all forms of election. So I can totally relate to fears of your parents about you, because they might not have heard about JNU's politics. What do your parents want you to become?
Well, my parents always wanted me to become an IAS officer.
IAS officer.
Yeah, of course, and
Typical Bihari dream. Every every student who seems to be studious, at least in the parents' eyes, in Bihar, they see only one thing, that their child will become an IAS officer.
yeah, of course.
You are no exception.
No, not exception.
You are also not an exception. Okay, so since you said that you have taken admission in masters in 2022, and your master is going to get over by the coming semester, what are you planning to do? Will you pursue higher education, or will you go for civil service exam, or now the politics?
Well, politics is never in my list. So somehow people have called it politics, but I never. I'm not designating it as politics. This is not something what I expected for. I see it as an example, for setting an example for those people, for those students from my area, my region, of course from Bihar, who has no any options to get out from their region and taking opportunities, taking higher education. So I always wanted to be an example for them. At least they can have, there are some people just like them who can join higher educations and get well-deserved life. Of course, as in childhood, everyone dreamed of a better life, a better education. But somehow when we grow up, this is something going out of our list. So of course, I'm just, you can say it as an example. I'm not doing politics at all. And of course, for SIS, if you say particularly, so this is something I always considered it as party politics here. Before joining politics, of course you are considering it, so that's why I'm saying. So before joining politics, it was like the other party, and they have the only role. But somehow when I participated in politics, I could know it's not always party politics. It's something that you can make on yourself. That there is also an independent candidate who is also a winning candidate. So you can say it's not always party politics.
You are speaking such a beautiful English, and you have studied from Bihar board, you belong to OBC category, you have studied from a very typical, regular, the most abused modeling system, which in India is called as Sarkari system. Sarkari school has become a pejorative term, a term where the dignity is said to have lost. So coming from the Madhya Vidyalaya, Utkramit Madhya Vidyalaya, typical Bihar board Sarkari school, then doing your 12th again from Hindi medium largely, RN College, Hajipur, then suddenly coming to Delhi University, then coming to JNU, winning election, now speaking in English, giving wonderful interviews in English. 2 questions. Do your parents know that you speak in English so beautifully? Have they ever heard you?
My parents, every parents has an...
Or have you in hiding gone to attend any government school, missionary school, convent school?
No, never. As I mentioned, Yeah, of course. I was in that middle school in third class when I joined private CBSE school, and I just joined there for third, fourth, second, third, and fourth. Not fourth, fifth. So that was something 3 years there, and again I joined Sarkari school. So and my parents all, of course they know, and they always expected कि if my child is studying outside of Bihar, so she should know, she must be knowing very
English is still the main charm
yeah, of
in the
course.
eyes of Bihari parents.
Yeah, of course, if you are a student, English is something like if you know English, you are studying and nothing else.
Okay. What do your parents do?
My mother is working in a self-help group, and she's just like managing 12 or 13 self-help groups in my village, of course. And my father is in Kolkata, and he has a small kind of transporting business, and he has married by themselves.
Are you how many siblings you are, like brothers and sisters?
I have 4, including me. One sister, she's my elder sister actually, and
Like 2 brothers and 2
two
sisters.
sisters.
Okay. And what do they do?
My sister is doing nursing, BSc nursing, and my other 2 brothers are one has just passed 12th and one has just taken the exam of 10th.
Okay, okay. So, do you think that you are setting an example first for your own brothers and sisters to follow your suit, to imitate you, and then, of course, as you said, to those girls who live still ignored in your region?
So, if you especially talk about my siblings, so yeah, I want them to do something that my region has never seen, and not only my siblings but all the people, all the students. As I would like to mention a case here. There's a student in 10th class, and she is also my cousin. Somehow we can say. So she was in class 10th only and 15 years old, just 1 year ago, and she was forced to marry. And I took the step. I told them. I asked her parents to stop this, but they were against me, and they were saying like कि आपके parents आपको पढ़ा रहे हैं, उनके पास पैसा है. This is something they are mentioning. So I somehow I tried to make them understand, but they were.
They did not understand.
They did not, and she got married, and now she is pregnant, and she is like 5-6 years younger than me. So I cannot expect कि the person who is just 15 years old, who does not
Will get
about the
married.
marriage, how can she get married? And I cannot even think about the marriage. Now I'm 21, I'm just going to turn 22, and I cannot ever think कि I can get married. What about them who is getting married in only 15 years old?
So, as you are pointing out, the major challenge in the life of a girl is to escape the misfortune of getting married at early age and then bearing all familial responsibilities. Do you think that after you will go after studying from JNU, you will go to your village, meet your parents and family members, you will play any role or you will start any activity of awareness where you will convince them, teach them, tell them that girls must be sent to school, promoted to higher studies?
Not only girls, but whenever I go to home, of course in vacations, so whenever I meet my friends from school, so I always like make them aware कि देखो there is an university जो providing education just 180 and 190 rupees per semester at JNU, but they never believed me. But I told them that I am the example who is studying in that on that course only. So I always inspired them, but somehow I don't know why they are not getting motivated. But I always try and keep trying. I'll keep trying to motivate them and make them aware about the education, the higher education that JNU is providing on such cost, and that minimal cost that we can afford. The community that I come from where I came from, so I want them to come here and of course get higher education, and especially for girls. At least parents should be aware about their education, at least till graduation. At least they can understand that what they have to do in life, and what not getting the degrees to just get married, but still they can decide about their life now. At least they can decide what is right and what is wrong for them. Just I can do now. So,
Friends, you are hearing Megha Kumari, who comes from Bihar, who has studied in Sarkari school, speaking so beautifully in English, but she still brings forward the challenges girls of her region are facing. How girls are being married at early age and their aspirations are crushed. She is saying that how fees are still a major challenge in the against the girls' education. And when she shared her experience after getting admission in JNU, that education is possibly at a very minimum fee, nobody believed her. Why would they believe? When the government has turned anti-people, when the fees of education and health are rising, it is making people difficult to believe that education, which is the primary thing, can be given by the government for free. Well, all of us know that India is going under election, and Congress for the first time has put forward mentioned in their agenda, in their manifesto, free education for girls across the country. We don't know what will be the fate of the India Alliance, what will be the result of the election, where this manifesto will ever get the chance to be implemented or not. But one thing is sure, that the coming of student from the backward regions like Megha Kumari will inspire millions of students to come in few years. Megha, thank you very much. You have given precious time to my channel, and you have shown the world that how a struggle, desire, aspiration must not be left behind. One must think good, think forward, and they should also have some courage to pursue their dream. Having dream is one thing, but having courage to pursue the dream is the example Megha Kumari is. Thank you very much. If you like my channel, keep watching it. Thank you.